All right, I'm looking here in the Art of War for the part about hedgehogs under tactical dispositions. So yeah, I kind of went through the Art of War by Sun Tzu. Got some other books I'm reading. It's Monday night, and that means it's time for another episode of the world famous Lock and Load show, and it is still Glocktober, which means you can still Glock in America, in spite of some rather ridiculous new Republican gun control legislation that was being proposed. Let's see who did it, which idiot did it. I think it's some New York Republican. I didn't even know there was any Republicans in New York, but let's see. Looking at the Firearms Policy Coalition email that I got from it says, Representative John Katko, Republican, New York, and some of his fellow rhinos introduced House Resolution 6747, Republican-backed gun violence restraining order, gun confiscation bill, which would use taxpayer funds to force implementation of GVRO and ERPO. What's an ERPO? Anyway, I'm waiting for them to come up with a ZRPO. Only in Britain. In the UK, they would come up with a ZRPO, a zombie restraining order or something like that. Because, I was looking at some bushcrafters, bushcrafting camping video, and for some reason, he was just setting up his tarp and making a camp stakes out of sticks with his knife. And for some reason he said, well, of course, zombie knives are controversial and you don't need zombie knives. And tell me what part about the green paracord on this particular knife, which I bought 40 years ago or something like that, makes it more dangerous than if it had some other color. So this is like a zombie Tonto. Fury, made in China. I bought it 40 years ago or something like that. It's not a bad one. It's got a little saw on it, and I kind of like it. But the paracord doesn't make it more dangerous. And there's no such thing as zombies. Only in the UK would they have a law to restrain people from buying zombie things. And of course I got my green on my Glock, so that makes it a zombie Glock, right? Because it's green, and green is bad. So it's just what struck me is that why was this bushcrafter self-editing himself for it's like he was guilty that he owned a knife or something. And was carving changing a stick into a tent, camping stake for a tarp. And he felt compelled to say, making a YouTube video, that it wasn't really a zombie knife, it was a camping knife. There's no such thing as zombies. It's the whole attitude is just upside down and backwards and twisted as far as what freedom is over there. And another thing that pissed me off about originally, when I thought about it, not so much, but was that they released some Islamic pro-ISIS cleric in London. And they had sentenced him to 5 years in prison for raising money for ISIS. And they let him go after only 2 years out of prison. And so I thought, first, when I heard about that, I was really pissed. So the guy's raising money for ISIS in the middle of London, and they sentenced him to 5 years in jail, and they let him go after only 2. That's a terrorist organization. And why did it? So then I thought about it for a second after I was just angry when I first heard about it. I was like, okay, they're staking him out. This is British intelligence. They're just he'll do more good out there and see which bad guys show up. They're just going to 24/7 surveil him, and if any ISIS guys show up, they'll have leads to follow. and try and track down some bad guys that way. So at least that's how I figured the British are really handling it. They just didn't let them go for no reason because they were being nice. at least I'm hoping that's what they're doing. I'm hoping it's not that they sentence people for 5 years for terrorists, for raising money for terrorists, and then let them go in 2.
I think you're giving them too much credit.
Yeah, it was probably because I watched that. I rewatched my Blu-ray of The Foreigner, and they had the British were well, they had electronics. They have cameras everywhere. I mean, in London, it's like cameras everywhere. So I don't. Maybe I am giving them too much credit, but I mean, if I was in British intelligence, that's what I would do. Yeah, I'd let him out and just bug the hell out of every place he went and wait for some bad guys to show up.
They used to be the most powerful country on the planet, and then they got soft.
Well, hopefully that won't happen to us. All right, so wanted to give a shout out to Steve Dennis over there, who's like one of my viewers, regular viewers, and he's like 40 miles north of where I live now, visiting the Big Island with some of his friends. And I hope to hook up with him at an Irish pub down the block in a couple of days. Hope they're all recovering from their hike across some lava field somewhere. Lava rock, not a lava field, some lava rock. Things been going okay. I got some prepping gear in, got a new flashlight, got a little stream light. Oh, geez, it's got a strobe. Sorry, everybody. I couldn't even get that to work. Now when I'm doing the show, it just decides to work. You know, it's a little one, and because my cheap Costco Chinese one gave out. This one is, let's see, Streamlight ProTac. And it's got a little clip so you could put it on your hat if you need to, so you can just stick it on your belt or your shirt or whatever. It's pretty lightweight and pretty bright. So add that to my flashlight collection. Got some more food stuff came in, free shipping from Amazon. And somebody asked me about that. If I was a member of Amazon Prime, and I'm not, I just make sure that I order enough. If I'm going to order stuff off Amazon, that it's enough stuff to cover, to qualify for free shipping. And then I just order. I have to order. I can't wait till like the day before the hurricane comes and then order stuff. I have to order things that I think I might need well in advance. So I got some Augustin food stuff delivered in number 10 cans, some freeze-dried strawberries, freeze-dried shredded potatoes, number 10 cans full of that, and some number 10 can of brown sugar, and tomato paste, or tomato powder, and just stuff to add to my food stores, because I like to be prepared. And it's getting a little crazy out there. It's the Italian bond situation has been getting crazier and crazier. The whole EU. Italy is basically too big of a country. It's too big to fail, and it's too big to save. Nobody can afford to save it, and nobody can afford to let it fail. And the bonds are basically, the yields are going up, the values are going down, because the government's insolvent, the banks are insolvent, and all the Italian politicians are promising more free stuff to all the voters, of course, and so. But hey, we have every country on the planet pretty much has a similar problem, maybe just not that bad. So let's see. It's good to just keep prepping, I guess. Keep on prepping. We were talking about the United States pulling out of the intermediate nuclear forces agreement from the 80s, and then we're talking in the pre-chat and the book, Tom Clancy's book, Red Storm Rising. There wasn't a movie made out of that one, and that was considered a conventional invasion of Europe by mass Soviet armored divisions, which no longer exist. They have armored divisions, they just don't have like 1,000 or 1,200 or how many ever. I don't know what at the height of the conventional power of the Soviet Union. I don't know what was it, 1,200 armored divisions or something crazy like that. Versus, like, I don't know, NATO had like 50 armored divisions or 40 or something. A lot. They didn't have like 1,200. The Russians were just, the numbers were just off, mind-boggling as how many tanks they had. And so in the middle of all of that, the concern was that the U.S. would put, Reagan wanted to put intermediate range Pershing 2 or 3 intermediate range nuclear missiles in Europe. And if the concern was that if Russian tanks overran the sites where the missiles were based, then the NATO generals would have, only choice they would have to was either use them or lose them. And so there would be an automatic nuclear war if a Russian armored division reached a certain point on the map. And the inevitable escalation conflagration, and nuclear winter. So basically, Putin started making scary sounds again, but he always does that. It's like it's getting to the point where Putin makes scary sounds more than Donald Trump tweets. So, it's hard to get worked up, I mean, about that stuff, but I always keep prepping anyway. For whatever hurricanes. I don't know. I know Squibb doesn't watch basketball, but I had a lot of fun watching the fight, I guess, the Lakers game, or the Lakers-Rockets game, like, what was it, Friday or Saturday? And it's like these millionaires get into fights with each other. And I think the tough part was for the 21-year-old player, Brandon Ingram. He's only 21, and he doesn't have the experience that like the older players who are like in their mid-30s have, as far as just realizing that, okay, like James Harden is specialist at drawing fouls, and you can't just like beat him up every time he draws a foul and starts whining to the ref and acting like a prima donna. So it's just part of how the game is played, and it's easy to lose your. What was that line from the Maltese Falcon, when in the heat of the moment, men forget where their true interests lay and let passion carry them away. And of course, they were talking about guns in the movie, but they were talking about a specific crime. But that's a whole nother thing. I know Squibb won't ever watch any of my movies. Did you watch any of those scenes from The Foreigner with Jackie Chan and the Special Forces guy fighting?
I watched the one you sent me.
Because that had 4 different little videos in there.
Oh, I only clicked on the first one. I guess I didn't scroll down far enough.
Okay. Yeah, the Special Forces fight was like Jackie Chan versus an Irish regiment, Irish Royal Regiment Special Forces guy, and that was a pretty good knife. That was a pretty good fight. There was I like the bushcraft scene where the Irish Special Forces guy goes up to his debris shelter Jackie Chan's little debris shelter, and the debris shelter is set up with some sticks that are bent back, and there's just one stick holding him back. So when the Irish Special Forces guy gets real close to standing right next to the debris hut, Jackie Chan just pulls out the stick that's holding him back, and the other 4 sticks just flip back and slam the Special Forces guy to the ground, and knock him, just temporarily stun him, and then gives Jackie Chan his chance to do his to get the element of surprise in and try and deal with the threat. But I looked at that particular scene and it was like, yeah, I don't ever want to get into combat with a Special Forces guy because I'm pretty sure I would lose. I'm just 54-year-old recovering cardiac patient. So, I mean, I know how to fight, but yeah, that was a pretty intense little ultimate survival style of fighting. It's not the Foreigner. I really like that movie, but it wasn't like a kung fu movie at all. Like there's no kung fu at all in it. It's just like ultimate survival fighting. But that was like the one where Jackie Chan actually, okay, I'm going to act in this movie. I'm not going to just do comedy and stuff like that. And it was pretty good. And he had Pierce Brosnan in there playing Irish, he's not Irish. I think Pierce Brosnan played James Bond in 1 or 2 movies, GoldenEye, and but he did a pretty good Irish accent. I guess he had to work on that for a while. And so I don't know. I don't have too much to talk about this week. I do have a meme of the week. I saw this one. My dad emailed it to me, and it was just so incredibly funny. I could share it. Get something going on conversation with this one. There you go. Can you see that one? Can anybody see out? Can Earth or Hawaii to the rest of the planet? Let me check my external, see if anybody's even out there yet. See 1 or 2 people. Steve's down at the barbecue at the Paniolo Greens, I think. Lever Guns 50-110 WCF. Yes. So Nice Strike saw my camera and then he left. I guess I'm like the Medusa or something. Let's see. Thanks for cruising by, peoples. Well, I like this particular meme, so I'm calling this one the meme of the week. All right, I guess we temporarily lost everybody but me.
No.
Oh, well, you're back. Okay.
I stay muted unless I'm talking.
Well, help me out and talk for a bit. Let's see. Oh yeah, in Hawaii, the Supreme Court of Hawaii invalidated one of the constitutional amendment ballot initiatives. They for being vague and deceptive. That basically there was a on the ballot, which I already sent in my absentee mail-in voter ballot. And the amendment that was proposed was to have a constitutional convention for an amendment that would give the legislators the ability to institute a surcharge for property real estate property. And what it said on the ballot initiative, what it's supposed to be for investment properties over $1 million only, and to raise taxes for teachers. But really, that's not what the amendment said. That it would give the legislature to basically have a surcharge on real estate, any real estate. So the Supreme Court said it's invalidated the whole amendment and ballot initiative for being vague and deceptive. It was basically just another property tax. And that's the whole thing about real estate property, that I'll just say. Real estate, unlike gold or silver, real estate actually has a third-party risk known as the government, because it's the lowest hanging fruit. You can't take real estate, can't run away. It is where it is. And you've heard of it is what it is. What real estate is where it is. So the government knows where it is, and it can go tax it any time. If they need more money, they can go tax it anytime they want. And this was just so deceptive on the ballot that we're only gonna raise the taxes on investment properties over $1 million, and only spend the money on teachers. And that's not what the bill said, and the proposition actually said. But that was the description on the ballot, so they just invalidated the whole. They said you can't count. They told the election master or whatever the person is called that counts all the ballots, is that you can't count this initiative. It's invalid. So I had already mailed in my ballot voting no, but that's what happens in left-wing states. They just want to. And so real estate has third parties risk. And if you live in a state that has incredible budget deficits, unfunded pension liabilities, like for government employees, police, firefighters, government employees, anything like that, teachers, they're in like Illinois, they had this. They voted. First, they voted a constitutional amendment to make sure that to guarantee that the pensions, state pensions, had to be paid first out of anything in the budget. And then they voted the teachers to get their votes for the unions. Politicians voted them all like $1 million retirement. So however much they were paying you, it didn't matter, because when you retired, you would get $1 million a year, except they never funded it. Just relying, they have to fund it. They don't have to come up with the money. They never set aside any money. But legally, the state has to pay them their pensions. But so if a court orders them, okay, you have to pay this now, but there's no money to pay them. So there's third-party risk to real estate. And there's very few investments you can make on the planet that don't have this third-party risk, where the government just can't come in and say, okay, we're going to raise your taxes, or I could go through every investment almost, including money in your bank account, and it has third-party risk. But gold and silver don't. You hold them in your hands, and they can't really get their hands on it unless they break into your house and shoot you in the head and take your gold from you. Which is what they would have to do for me. That before they get my gold, they're going to have to take my lead. So there's no third-party risk in physical silver and gold. So yeah, I like to have some of that stuff. To a certain extent, depending on where you keep your cryptos, it's like that. If you keep your cryptos like in a Trezor wallet or something like that, if you're on an exchange, forget it. Whatever you have on an exchange or in you won't have it if the banking system goes down, because the crypto exchanges rely on the banking system, because it's the same deal with the COMEX and all the paper trading and stuff. Anyway, I don't want to get into all that stuff. Anyway, So I did finish reading The Art of War by Sun Tzu. There was some good stuff in there. It's not a very long book. I mean, obviously, this is the English translation, and the work is in the public domain nowadays. Because I thought, God, when was the Sun Tzu right? He was like, what year? Somebody could Google that. But let's see, there's about 10 or 13 different sections: laying plans, waging war, attack by stratagem, tactical dispositions, the army on the march, energy, weak points and strong, maneuvering, variation in tactics, terrain, the 9 situations, attack by fire, and the use of spies. Those are the different chapters in The Art of War. But I think the main one that is if you know yourself and you know your enemy, then you'll never lose. So that was an important one, I thought. But there's a lot of good stuff in there. Some of it, but not all of it. Most of it is still valid. Some of the stuff about maneuvering and how to tell what an army's doing by the kind of dust cloud it has and stuff like that. Maybe that's a little outdated, but not necessarily. It's worth the read. But you can see it's worth the read. I'll just say that. I'm going to move on to another book next week. But that's my book of the week. It's not that long. It was only 68 pages. Yeah. So it's not like it's just things that make you everything you can stop and think about it for a while. Every particular concept or precept of war by Sun Tzu. You could stop and think about how it applies to you. And I'll have a different book next week. All right. Anybody have any comments on the Caravan?
Dodge Caravan?
Quadrant of A-10 Warthogs and some M1 Abrams M2 main battle tanks. Make them turn around real quick.
Well, I was thinking since Mexico is a Catholic country, we could do like they would do in Rome and just crucify one migrant every 10 yards and on the road going north. Or
if we just annex Mexico and make it part of the United States, they'll have no reason to come over here because they'll already be here. And then I can buy some really cheap desert property. Let's do it. Do it now.
You want to take care of all those people in Mexico? We're already running it.
We're going to make them citizens anyhow. Let's just take over Mexico. We'll have like 60 states, right?
We're not making anybody citizens. I don't want Mexico.
If we
Besides, there's a
Mexico
hurricane headed to Cabo San Lucas, by the way.
If we turn Mexico into part of the United States, turn each one of the provinces of Mexico into a state, right? And now it's part of us. Boom, problem solved.
Problem solved. There won't be any more United States of America because we'll be broke the very same day.
Oh, there you go with that crap. Whatever.
Money makes the world go round.
We can just print all we want. Who cares?
That's what we have been doing.
Yeah, and it's worked so far. So why
stop printing?
Yeah, print, baby, print.
Print, baby, print. Well, you should join the Federal Reserve.
Nah, those guys are, I don't know, something fishy about them.
Something fishy.
Well, yeah.
They're going to be, when the government fails to pay, goes bankrupt and fails to pay its debt, then the central banks will probably wind up owning everything. And they will come in and say, okay, in order to pay off the debt, we're going to double your property taxes in whatever the new form of money is, and if you don't pay us, we'll take your home. And that's what I mean by third-party risk of real estate. But anyway, how do we get from Mexico to that?
Because you always want to talk about the banks taking over the world, and it's never going to happen.
They've already taken over the world. It's like one of those things you didn't notice.
When I went to my bank today and
Your
deposited
bank?
money, my
Deposited money when you gave the bank your money.
You're not gonna believe they said thank you. Okay, if they'd taken over the world, they would have stopped me at the door, turned me upside down, shook me until everything fell out of my pockets, and then thrown me in the street.
Why? You're willingly, like a lemming, going to them, giving them all your money, and you're just a creditor to the bank. You're the last in line. You'll be the last in line to get paid. Monte de Paschi or any European or Greece or Deutsche Bank goes down, the whole banking system will freeze up, and you'll be the last person to get paid. The CEO of the bank will get paid before you get like $1 out of your account.
I'm not worried about what happens over in Germany.
That's the problem. That's what they count on. That's what the banks are counting on. The third-party risk to the bank is all the other banks, because they never fixed the 2008 financial crisis when they showed up at the Treasury Secretary showed up at Congress and said, we need $700 billion by tomorrow, or the United States economy and government ends. And then the world economy ends the very next day. And the Congress people said, what? Say what? Because they got the $700 billion out of Congress, and then okay, and then they had to have them put on an addendum saying, oh, don't tell us what to spend this money on, because they didn't deal with any of the bad real estate loans that caused the banking system to freeze up at all. They converted them into CDOs and derivative debts, and sold them off as financial instruments to other banks. So every bank holds a CDO on some other bank, and that basically is a financial instrument of like 900,000 bad loans, 50,000 good loans, and the rating of the financial instrument is based only on the 50,000 good loans. And it's just, they just did a little accounting trick, and never, because they realized that $700 billion would not be enough. They didn't make good on, they didn't fix the problem at all. They just did a little paper, they just shuffled papers basically. And the debt is still there. So hope that can at least, that's what the problem with derivatives are. It's like there's basically so much derivative exposure, and derivatives, after the Dodd-Frank, derivatives holders get paid off before depositors. I mean, there's no point in putting money in a bank anymore, at least not keeping it there for more than 5 minutes, because the banks could shut down at any time, and you'll just be like, it'll be musical chairs. Whoever is not sitting down doesn't get a seat and doesn't get anything. So that's why it's important.
I don't know about all that. I don't know, but I just opened up my wallet and I found $50. So woohoo!
Ooh, there's a piece of paper with a picture of some guy that's been dead for a couple hundred years and some numbers on it. Why do you think that little piece of paper would possibly be worth anything?
Lots of people all over the place will take it in return for goods and services.
For now. Yeah, they take it at the local bar too. But it's just a piece of paper with a dead guy on it, portrait of a guy that's been dead for a couple of years and some numbers, and it's just kind of stupid that people think that it's worth anything. It says that it's basically a reserve note based on credit. I mean, it's a debt-based currency. Anyway, let's get back to guns, because guns are cool. This is Glocktober. Are you guys still? I know Squib is not a big Glock fan. What about Patrick over there? Not a big Glock fan either. I don't know. I like my Glock. Much as people like to bash Glocks. And yeah, you can steal Glock in America. Not a bad reset. I like mine. So do you think if the Dems get control of the House, they're going to try and get some more gun control passed? Dianne Feinstein's last hurrah? I mean, even the Republicans are trying to pass through gun control, violence restraining order legislation. It's just, it's like a never-ending fight with those people. You guys are a talkative bunch. Need Dusty to come on so I can, if I start talking about Roundup, that'll get him activated. Anyway, let's see.
Switching over to Wi-Fi so I wouldn't drop off. Surprised my data's been working this good so far. Once I come into the house, the data goes to crap. As soon as I go outside, Wi-Fi goes to crap.
So they get you going one way or the other. All right.
Well, I took your advice and I got an unlimited data plan. I mean, I don't worry about data anymore. I tell you what, it's costing me a hell of a lot more, but whatever. You win some, you lose some.
Oh, I'm surprised you took my advice about anything, but anyway. So your garden is completely shut down for winter now?
Yep, I picked the last of, well, we might get a few more green onions out of it and maybe some raspberries, but I pretty much picked the last of it today.
So you can't grow berries in the winter there? There's no all-season?
Normally, I can stretch it all the way till Veterans Day. That's usually the last day I pick anything out of the garden. I doubt I'm going to get another, what is that, 3 weeks away? 3 weeks out of what's left. I mean, it's just, it's been too cold here. We've had some frost in the morning. That'll be what kills everything off. But I mean, I picked some tomatoes on Sunday, and I picked green onion today, and
real tomatoes. I just got a number 10 can full of tomato powder. I'd rather have a real tomato.
Last of the green beans I picked yesterday, and I ate them at work today. So won't be able to get fresh green beans anywhere in Michigan for another 9 months. So,
well, time for to go hit the frozen food aisle and get all those. That's what I had yesterday. We had a steak, ribeye. No, it was some kind of cross cut from a steak, local Big Island steak, cow, and some frozen veggies, bird's eye frozen veggies, carrots, broccoli, cauliflower combo, and it all went good together. I liked it.
No fava beans and
a nice Chianti.
And a nice bottle of Chianti.
Ooh, Chianti. I don't have any Chianti here, unfortunately. I haven't found any in the local stores, but I haven't really. I need to go looking for it. The Costco didn't have any when I was there last time, and I was looking for it too. I like a good bottle of Chianti. I did find finally some Jim Beam, that black extra aged in the charred casks. That's the one that they advertise. I saw the advertisements for that. They won the competition for the best tasting bourbon. So it's like, wow, because I see the regular Jim Beam all the time, and I was like, nah. But then when I saw the black one that won the competition, I was like, okay, I'll bite on that one. I haven't popped the cork on that one yet, but still sticking to tonight is just going to be Irish whiskey. I don't think that's a single malt one. I think this one is blended, but it's good. Tullamore.
So, you weren't the only one who got free shipping from Amazon.
What was that? I didn't hear the first part of your sentence. All I heard was free shipping from Amazon.
You weren't the only one who got free shipping from Amazon.
Oh, what did you get?
I don't know. I'm about to open up. I've been doing the whole buy $35 or buy $50 worth of stuff and get free shipping for years, and all kinds of people are like, you should get Prime. Like, why? Why would I pay for membership for something I get any? Well, they had 2-day shipping. Okay.
Nothing is 2 days to Hawaii. Almost nothing.
It's 2 days shipping, but it's not 2 days. They could set on it for a week and then put it on 2-day shipping. It doesn't mean that they have to ship it the day you order it and 2 days later it's in your hands. They're not obligated to do that. People don't understand that. I don't like paying for memberships. I do sometimes. I mean, like Sam's Club, but I really don't like paying for memberships.
Yeah, have to with Costco, but in Hawaii.
Here we go. A new Manny pack.
That's one thing I was saying about Hawaii. It's because one of the viewers is visiting, Steve Dennis, and I was telling him, don't be fooled by all the chain stores like Costco or Safeway or whatever chain store you see around here. It's when the grid is up, the just-in-time delivery system, it can work very well. But if the grid goes down, this is an island 3,000 miles from anywhere in the middle of nowhere. So everything will disappear real fast. So when you order stuff from Amazon, you have to plan in advance what you're going to need. You can't wait till the day before the shit hits the fan. It'll be too late. You have to, it's because of the remoteness of the location. I mean, I could go to Safeway and it looks like we've got everything almost. And I was upset when they didn't have the last time I was at Safeway. It's like, wait a minute, they don't have that Amy's Thai green curry that I like so much. The frozen food section. And I was like, oh, pissed. But they have a lot of stuff that's really. So I had to get like P.F. Chang's Mongolian beef instead, and from the frozen food section and some veggies. But they never order enough Hanukkah candles for the Jewish population here. And who on God's earth sells gefilte fish without selling red horseradish for it? I mean, it's like selling bread but not selling butter or something. It's just having turkey without gravy or turkey without stuffing. I mean, it's like there's just some things they get wrong. But since you're on a remote island in the middle of nowhere, I mean, I suppose I could call the 877 number for Safeway and complain. But the bottom line is, if it's an illusion, if the grid goes down, it's like this place is hell and gone from anywhere. And so, when I buy from Amazon, I have to make sure I've always got enough to make sure it's free shipping, because shipping to Hawaii will cost a fortune. Like if I buy something from another website, like if I want to go to Camping and Survival and buy something, it'll cost a lot of money to ship it here. And the last time I bought something from Camping and Survival, I'm still waiting. And it's like I bought something 4 weeks ago, and they still haven't shipped it because their website said that they had it in stock, but they didn't. So they're still waiting for it. And they aren't going to do partial shipments because they'll lose money if they do that. So I mean, 4 weeks for like a small, medium order of stuff. It's like, really? And so Amazon's got their system down, and their stock is like, that's why their stock is just like a monster. But I don't know how much more it's going to go up. And it's funny, David Stockman was on the Varney Fox Business Channel today, and Varney tries to make fun of him, and Stockman keeps trying to warn everybody. It's like, 10,000 times earnings or something. Are you kidding me? But who's going to stand in the way of a freight train? I mean, trying to short Amazon or Apple Computer, that's like standing in the way of a freight train until it's not. Speaking of someone who did short Apple and got run over, you just it basically, the system, the grid's up until it's not. I mean, Amazon has got their shit down as far as if you want to get something for like free shipping and not have to pay for that. Eventually, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen as far as, the post office and they're ridiculous stock valuations. But in the meantime, I'm getting all my freeze-dried foods while I still can, while all this stuff works. And the shipping's free because, like I said, I live on an island in the middle of nowhere. And as much as it's really an illusion. When you go into Safeway and you see all the food on the shelves, and it's like any kind of lettuce, all the stuff, it's like really amazing how the just-in-time, the whole shipping system works. And they can have fresh food from everywhere, but it works until it doesn't. And then, I don't have a garden, so in my condo, so there will be issues. And I can only put so much stuff, so much shit in my condo. And then I'll be like, I went out today. I hadn't been to the pool in like 2 or 3 days, and the manager's been out of town. So nobody's been feeding the feral cat, I guess. I said, no, somebody was supposed to, but I don't think they are. So I went out and swam a few laps and didn't see the cat around anywhere. And then he showed up and started immediately demanding food in the way cats do. They just meow at you, basically. So I had to, the manager gave me the code to get into the pool, the little pool filter area where the pool machine is, the filter and the heater and all the pool chemicals, and there's some cat food in there. So cleaned out his dish, and he voraciously ate up a dish full of food or whatever it was. I think the local mongoose are just were protesting or something because maybe they don't like the cat, or whenever I see a mongoose going towards the cat dish, I yell mongoose, and the mongoose, as soon as the mongoose realizes it's been spotted, it just turns tail and run, and because they're wild animals. And so, but one of the mongoose took a crap right on the cat dish. I was like, I better clean that off, or the cat won't eat the food. But anyway, the feral cat got its fill of food, and then it basically scurried back off into the bushes or something. Anyway, that's about all the news there is on the Big Island. As soon as the absentee voter ballots arrived in the mailbox on YouTube, I started getting advertisements. Like if I watched a YouTube video, like from Mazie Hirono or Tulsi Gabbard or something, it's like, oh, they must know. They plan these YouTube advertising campaigns to coincide with the absentee voter ballots arriving. There's a shock. So I voted against her and Tulsi, obviously, and I don't even know who the Republicans are, but anybody's got to be better than them. But I'm sure they'll probably win again anyway, because this is just the deep blue state, and I vote. So everybody get out there and vote, whatever state you're in and however deep blue it is. Just vote for a pro-gun candidate, do the best you can, and let the chips fall where they may. hopefully everything will work out. And Spartacus, Pocahontas, and Hillary, whatever, will get their just, and Dick Durbin, the not Vietnam veteran guy. Hopefully they'll all get their comeuppance and not understand how they lost again. But usually the opposition party does well in the midterm, so just historically that's what happens. All right, so how's anybody doing any new gun stuff lately?
I just bought
Such as
One at a time.
I bought a stripped upper for an AR-15 that I'm going to make an AR pistol out of one of these days.
From Palmetto State Armory or where?
Oh, the CAC upper that I ordered from Primary Arms down in Houston. Got the T markings on it, so you can, see where the numbering, they're numbered, the slots are numbered. So
Yeah, I think I saw something like that. I mean, I don't look at all, but I don't look at all my spam email, but I get like regular emails for gun stuff from Palmetto State Armory, Classic Firearms, and the Primary Arms too. I have bought things from them all in the past, but it seems that I just keep getting, like, every third day or every other day, I seem to get an email from them about something on sale.
Yep.
And I'm pretty much
a pistol.
Yeah. Speaking for myself, I'm just in the other than a few rounds of ammo here and there. I'm just basically concentrating on working on my food preps right now, and I think on my futures list will be solar power system. A Canadian Prepper has a link on his Canadian preparedness site for a really good solar powered system that looks like would be okay if the grid went down. And food preps, and what else? On my wish list. So the wish list is solar power, and then after that, night vision and thermal, and night vision and thermal. It's not something that I need when the grid is up, but when the grid is down, it would really come in handy. So what kind of lower are you going to put with the upper?
I'm probably going to get one of the Palmetto State Armories SBA3 or lowers with the SBA3 brace in 5.56 223.
So the barrel of the upper, and how long is the barrel going to be?
It's 11.5 inch. I've already got the hand guard. I've already got the hand guard for it, and a couple pistol grips that are in gray, so it'll have a gray furniture, and then I'll throw some of my iron sights off of one rifle, and I really don't use them that much on, and put it on there, and get a Primary Arms Cyclops 1X Prism.
Yeah, familiar with that one.
Well, that thing's cool. The Prism scope, that's at 1X only. So there's no. It's got an etched reticle, and the glass clear as a bell. I've already shot.
So it's holographic and parallax free or something.
Yeah, it's parallax free because it's prism. It's prism, and there's no.
It's holographic.
No, it's etched. It's an etched reticle on the glass. So if battery ever dies, you always have the reticle. And since I have a slight stigmatism, it'll come in perfectly. Not like a true red dot with you'll see a starburst or that broken up dot.
Yeah, those aren't legal. Those short-barreled rifles aren't legal in my state, unfortunately.
Well, it's a pistol.
Yes, those they're not legal in my state, unfortunately. A lot of fun stuff is not legal in my state.
It's considered a handgun. I can even legally carry it as a CHL holder.
I don't know why you can't. Apparently, fun stuff. Having fun is not legal in Hawaii. But hey, look at the bright side. I can carry a. Where's my zombie knife? They can't carry in Britain. There's no such thing as zombies. All right.
Not yet.
Yeah, it's not Halloween yet. There it is.
Y'all haven't had any crazy clown sightings out there? Oh.
Just our governor. Our lieutenant governor.
Well, I don't know if you remember, about a couple of years ago, on Halloween, the whole month before, a whole month before and during October, we had those people that were dressing in clown suits and walking around in the woods and scaring people, and
you can do this.
Yeah. Well, no, they were literally dressed as like. You remember the movie Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
I've heard of it, but I never would see such a movie. It's not my type of thing. Maybe Squid saw it.
Watch the stupidity of it. It's funny. But they're dressing up like evil clowns, and they're being in the woods and stuff. And I rewatched the other day The Foreigner with Jackie Chan, because it was like the 60-something-year-old guy running circles around all the young guys and beating them up. Old guys rule kind of a film. Is that the one with Pierce Brosnan in it?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, where he's an ex-Vietnam vet.
Yeah, Jackie Chan's character, Quan, he fought for both sides in Vietnam. He started out as a
North
Vietnamese sapper, and he was captured during the Tet Offensive, and then I guess they put him through the political program, and then he got trained with the LRPs, the Long Range Reconnaissance Patrol people, at I guess Camp Recondo, and then he fought for the Americans, and then he had to escape after the war, and some of his family was killed, and all he had was one daughter left when he was running a Chinese restaurant in London, and the IRA sets off a bomb in the financial district that happens to kill his last daughter, the only family member he has left, and then he decides to he needs the names of the bombers, and he won't take no for an answer from the Sinn Féin politician.
Yeah, I thought that was a good movie. I rented it on demand, and I was like, yeah, that's a good one. I'd do the same if I had his abilities.
Yeah, but I looked at the fight between the Irish Royal Regiment Special Forces guy and Jackie Chan. It just made me realize that I would lose against either of those people. I mean, I know how to fight with a knife, but I would lose. So, like,
it just proves some old guys can kick ass. You just gotta don't pick them all off.
Yeah. Oh, basically, don't mess with the Special Forces guys. I mean,
yeah.
If you're gonna pick on somebody, if you're gonna fuck with somebody, don't fuck with Special Forces.
Yeah.
And if you accidentally have done, just try and apologize.
Do it in a very nice, polite way.
Because that particular fight. I mean, I like the stick fighting. I mean, I also know how to do stick fighting, but there was the stick fighting versus the kukri, the little mini kukri versus the stick fighting scene at the end of the fight, and I was like, and he kind of like knocks uses the sticks to knock the knife out of his grip, and then he just hits the knife. The kukri is spinning in the air, and he just flicks it out of the way with his stick. Stick fighting is a big thing, so and I know the basics of stick fighting. I will never be as good as Jackie Chan or at anything martial arts related, but that was like a different. That wasn't his usual kung fu kind of thing. There wasn't any kung fu in that movie at all. He said it was like ultimate fighting. There wasn't any martial arts style at all. But I like that little perimeter alarm that he had too. It's like, wow, where do I get one of those? There's like an infrared perimeter alarm that if the perimeter alarm, the infrared motion detector gets set off, then the little keychain thing beeps and there's a little red light on there. I thought that was pretty cool. I'd like to buy one of those off Amazon if I could find it. Anyway, so Cyclops Optics. I'd never even heard of it. A Cyclops Optic. What was that one that Deadshot used in Suicide Squad? Was that just an invention for the film?
Oh, I don't know. I think it was like a SIG 1:4 scope.
Well, with the red thing that goes in his eyeball or something.
Oh, yeah.
The monocle.
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
I don't know. Just something for the movie.
Probably, yeah. All right. Well, I am wondering how the Laker game is going, but I'll just watch the rerun later. So, how long is it going to take you to finish your AR pistol?
Oh, I don't know. All depends on bills and other things, and how life
and everything.
Because I'm also trying to figure out what's wrong with my 308 AR. Why is well, I'm making craters in my primers, and I'm also poking holes in the primer pocket in the primer. So hopefully I'll figure that out. Hopefully I won't have to buy a barrel. I bought some different powder today, and I'll test that out this week on Friday and see how it goes.
Man, I would kill for an indoor range so I could just take my handgun and go shooting at it. It just sucks that we don't have one here, but oh well.
They are nice to go to. One closest to my house, they are open until 9 o'clock. You pay $20 all day long, and you can come and go as much as you want.
Yeah, that would. I really liked the range that I went to with my dad, a Shooter's Paradise in Thousand Oaks. It was really nice, and considering it's California, it's like surprised at how nice it was. But it's an expensive area, so I expected, I guess, not the Beverly Hills Gun Club, but it was nice. But boy, we don't have anything like that out here. We're in the boonies. Let's see. So I heard like Cabo San Lucas is getting hit with a really big Category 5 hurricane. Is that going to make it through to Texas?
I have not even seen anything about it, but apparently Sean Connery is getting some of the rain bands from it already in Houston. So, I mean, if he's getting some of it, I'm sure it'll move up north and we'll get something. better wait till next week. That's all I can kind of say.
And I bet that mechanical bull on Medina Beach in Cabo San Lucas is getting clobbered. I've visited there. That's where I got my straw hat from, Cabo San Lucas, and I basically got off. I did a Mexican Riviera cruise, and I got off the boat at the little jetty pier, whatever, and went through the passport thing, and then I went to the Cabo Wabo, Sammy Hagar's Cabo Wabo bar, had like 2 shots of tequila and about 3 beers, and then I took a taxi to Medina Beach. And I basically dropped me off at Medina Beach. I was just walking along the sand, and I tripped over the sand, fell on my face right in front of the mechanical bull. And some people from the cruise ship would go, "Hey, it's the guy from playing poker all night at the poker table." And so they got me over, and I sat down in front of them, and they had an extra chair on the beach. And then somebody came by and sold me that straw hat that I always wear. And the guy wanted $20 for it, and I was going to give him $20, and they said no. And the people from the ship said no, you have to haggle. So I said okay, $10, and then they wound up. I bought it for $13. And so many people seem to like that hat. It's probably I should have bought more of them, but I got the beads fell off that I used to have on there that came with it. But yeah, I hate to see Cabo get wrecked by a hurricane, but Category 5 will definitely impact your life if you're anywhere near it.
Oh yeah.
So that's why people in the phone book in Hawaii, it says to prepare. And so I don't know why people would think that preppers are crazy. It says right in the phone book to prepare for hurricanes and if you live in Hawaii. I guess you need to do it if you live in Texas too, or even Georgia. Apparently.
Oh yeah.
Because the power goes out for like weeks, and then you've got a situation on your hands.
Yeah, we had a tropical storm when I lived in Houston that came off the coast or out of the Gulf and just parked itself right on Houston all night, and it rained so much that it was literally the first 500-year flood in 500 years. So,
wow.
And then Harvey was the second one.
Well, I'm getting to the point where I'll have enough frozen food that so I would say a power is going to be next on my list. It's expensive though, so that'll probably be at some point next year. I'll get one of those solar power rigs that Canadian prepper guy has on his website. He doesn't sell it off his website; he just has a link to it. The company that makes it, but it looked pretty decent, like a good system. It's just power is like the least thing I have. It's like my weakest point in all my preps, I think, right now. So I'll have to deal with that next year at some point, hopefully before the shit hits the fan. But anyway, Squib was saying something when I asked about new gun stuff, and then you guys started both talking at the same time, so I thought if he's still around, he could. Because I said like one person at a time, and so he probably fell asleep or is feeding his dog Sig or something, or barbecuing him. One or the other.
Well, it's weird. I'm looking at the weather for that hurricane. We'll never see the hurricane, but it is creating weather across Mexico and Texas.
Basically you have wind effects and water effects, and sometimes you only get one or the other. That it's the problem. So you may just get massive water dumping.
Yeah, because it screws with the whole weather system. Period. So.
And then it depends because not all neighborhoods are built in an area that could take incredible amounts of water dumps. And there's like some places on Maui that it's like a trickle of a stream turns into the Colorado River, like in a matter of less than an hour. And homes get like blown out, washed away, cars get washed away. And people can get buried under just in mudslides.
Yep.
Shit happens. And so the weather is something you got to keep an eye on. And hurricanes are definitely a dangerous thing.
Well, there's a big old line of weird weather just east of you.
Oh, great! There's they come in Hawaii next.
It looks to be like 400 or 500 miles away, but it's heading your direction.
All right, I'll have a quick look.
It's just weird thin line that stretches all the way from
the
Aleutians, south of the Aleutians. Oh, it's another hurricane out there. That's what it is. It's north of New Guinea. That's crazy.
Okay, Crazy Eddie, I'm on the west side of the Big Island. Okay, now let me try and find my bookmarks for Hawaii. Let's see. Central Pacific Hurricane Center. That ought to do it.
Yeah, you're not going to get a hurricane, but this is this weird stringy line of storms.
Yeah, it's not showing anything in the Central Pacific.
I'm saying this thing's like 300 or 400 miles northwest of you.
Eastern Pacific, Central Pacific Satellite. I'm not seeing anything northwest. I'm looking at the satellite.
Weather.com.
Northwest of Hawaii. How many miles northwest?
Probably about 300, 400 miles.
No, there ain't nothing. I'm looking at a satellite right now. There's nothing. There's some stuff south, but nothing north. I mean, that's not 300 miles. If you're looking at the little bit of weather northeast, there's nothing northwest. Northeast, I mean, like there's something like 2,000 miles out. Northwest, there's nothing.
Well, it shows it on my phone. Maybe it's.
Oh, you're looking on a phone. Maybe that's it.
All the live weather data from starting at.
Basically, I'm seeing Hurricane Willa near Cabo San Lucas, and after that, Vicente. And Hawaii's got nothing. Let's see what it says. For the east, North Pacific, east of 104 degrees west longitude, advisories for Tropical Storm Vicente, located a few hundred miles southwest of Manzanillo, Mexico, and Hurricane Willa, located 100 miles west of Cabo Corrientes. Yeah, they don't even have anything on the. If there was anything near Hawaii, it would be on the Central Pacific Hurricane.
Maybe that's further than 300 or 400 miles.
Yeah, maybe you're just looking at. I'll put up more satellite imagery. Let's see.
That's not even showing me where Midway is. So.
I'll put up I'll screen share this. Here we go. Can you see that?
Yeah. Yeah, so you gotta go further northwest.
I mean, from Hawaii, where I live here, the Big Island, to Oahu is like 700 miles or something like that, 750. So that's like right here. So 300 miles would be like.
Okay. Yeah, maybe my perception was wrong. Maybe it's 1,000 miles. So.
Well, 1,000 miles is not 300 miles.
Well, I was just saying that's what it looked like on on the map. It kind of looked like 300. I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's 300-400 miles. I don't know. It's big, but the Pacific is quite a bit bigger than Texas. So.
Yeah, Pacific is the largest ocean in the world, I believe.
Oh yeah.
So, and I'm just on I'm on a big rock in the middle of it.
Yeah. Let's just say this big old line of storms that like stretches all the way from the Aleutians, south of the Aleutians, all the way to this big old hurricane north of New Guinea.
All the way down to New Guinea?
Yeah.
That's like that's a hell of a lot.
Yeah, but it's like a really thin. It's like a big glob up front and a really thin tail that stretches into another big glob. It's just weird.
The water vapor loops look pretty cool, but all the water south of us, it looks pretty dry here in Hawaii right now. That's all that bronze stuff is just dry air.
Oh wow.
The colors are wet. Or the colors are the moisture. So Big Island looks pretty golden as far as weather goes right now. There's probably a high pressure sitting over us, keeping that moisture south. And so we're pretty good. I mean, yeah, I was outside today and it was like pretty much all blue skies, hardly even a little puff of cloud anywhere over Kona. It looked like there were some clouds south towards South Point, but over Kona, it was pretty much all blue skies all day. I was out by the pool, threw some cat food in the cat dish after I cleaned the mongoose crap off of it. I don't know why the mongoose would crap on the cat dish unless it just doesn't respect the cat or something. You know, it's probably they know it's the cat dish and they just, stupid cat, I'm going to take a crap on it.
Right.
Ah.
Oh, that is crazy. Switching the water vapor. Oh, there you are.
There I am. What?
Out there in Hawaii. I'm looking at I'm on weather.com for the weather and.
Oh, you're doing it on the phone though, so you don't have a big full screen.
Oh, I can make it full screen, and I can zoom out.
Okay, well, full screen on a phone. I don't know. I guess some of the new phones have bigger screens, but
yeah. You just got to move it around to the world and parts you want, you know. Yeah, it's crazy looking.
Yeah, sometimes the best shots are from the International Space Station. If you they're like right over a hurricane. You get some really cool pictures.
Oh yeah.
See if I can actually find the damn thing again. Okay, here it is. The NOAA site will no longer provide GOES East imagery for high resolution GOES imagery from GOES 16. It's geosynchronous something. I don't know. Please go to the star. Something about the particular satellite. Let's see what else we got. AVN color curve. I know what that means. Oh, here it is in a different color.
Oh, it's like infrared.
AVN?
That's what it kind of looks like.
I thought that stood for like Adult Video Network or something.
Oh, I'm sure it does. Adult Video Network Awards Show in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I used to go to the video. What was the name of the conference I went to? And it was like the adult. It was the straight up video conference that what didn't except it was like it shared the convention center with the adult there was like a video distribution something conference that I went to sell my foreign language dubs, and on the other side of the wall like was all the adult stuff with all the porn stars for the adult video conference. That was like it was like the video distribution something I forget, but yeah, so it was like I was on the straight side of it, and then all the whores are on the other side. I mean,
The actresses.
I don't know. Stormy Daniels is an actress. You really? I don't think so.
They're performers.
Oh, I'm sure she can perform, or at least she used to be able to, but I haven't watched any of her adult videos, so I don't know.
So I don't know.
I've just seen her like her picture come up on like just when you like sign on to the internet you get a news page pop up with her and her lawyer Abinetti.
Oh yeah, which apparently he can't pay for his own apartment anymore. He's having trouble paying his apartment bill.
Well, what city does he live in?
New York.
Oh well, fuck. So I'm surprised anybody can pay their apartment bill in New York. I mean, an apartment in New York is like a closet anywhere else.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they want my house payment for an apartment in New York, and I screw that.
I don't even want
my house payment would probably get you one room, one bedroom apartment that's probably 500 square feet if you're lucky.
500 would be big for New York, I would think.
But I'm just saying my house payment would get you 500 square feet.
I won't ask what your house payment is, but yeah, New York is very expensive real estate. And I was also going to tell Squibb that I know he said he hadn't ever seen the High Chaparral, but if he ever thinks about moving to Arizona, he should watch the High Chaparral, 1970s Western, about a family that moves to Arizona and buys a ranch there along the Mexico border near Tucson. Stars Leif Erikson, Cameron Mitchell, Henry Darrow. It's a pretty famous, very good Western TV show. And it's I like watching that show. So I like watching the reruns of that. And I think Monolito had a Colt Army pistol. So I guess it was black powder. I mean, I don't know, because I thought it looked like he's carrying a Colt Army to me, but they always seem to have cartridges and not black powder. So, but it looked to me like a Colt Army, but I don't know. May have to go.
Honestly, I remember seeing the name of the show, but I've never watched it.
Oh, well, they had some very good episodes and some that weren't quite up to snuff. There was one on today where it was like the doctor from Dodge, and basically it starts out where the guy who runs the ranch, Leif Erikson's character, John Cannon, is upset at his son because he was ready to draw on some outlaw who's like supposedly like one of the fastest gunmen in Arizona, and he says, "You never draw on anybody unless you know exactly who they are," and then he hit him and knocked him to the ground. and then which pissed him off. So then at the end of the show, he John Cannon is pissed at this doctor from Dodge, and he challenges him to a gunfight, and the bad gunfighter appears on a bluff behind him, and the gunfighter just, instead of shooting John Cannon, shoots the bad guy on the hill behind him before he can even flinch, and then he realizes at the very end of the show that, wait a minute, that was Doc Holliday. He just challenged to a gunfight. It's like, whoops. And but it was really good, a series. They had because it was on the border with Mexico. They would always have the Mexican banditos and the different cultures between. They got to address the whole thing with Mexico and the United States in a very interesting retrospective way that people don't talk like that anymore. I don't even remember all the episodes, but it was. I don't remember all the dialogue off the top of my head. Sorry, I have to rewatch everything now, so I can talk about it in the next. It was basically, there was a different philosophy about dealing with the border back then than there is now. Obviously, things have changed since 18. What year was that show set in? I mean, it was made in 1970, but I think it was still the Arizona Territory, so it had to be in the 1890s or something.
1860s, 1870s, 1880s. Probably your 1880s and 1890s.
What year was Arizona a state turned into a state? I can't recall.
1912.
1912. Okay. But if you're thinking about ever moving to Arizona, you should watch that show. High Chaparral.
I'm watching it.
You are watching it right now? Okay. Yeah, I usually catch it on either Heroes and Icons channel in the mornings, or INSP, Inspiration Channel. Those are the two channels I see the reruns on. But it depends on what kind of cable service, if any, you have or whatever. But I think I like Cameron Mitchell in that. I always like the way he has that armband with the ammo on his armband for his pistols. And it's I don't know if it was all 4440 for everything back then, but I'm gonna have to go back and hit the firearms movie database and get some information on what guns they used on the show. Okay. Did you get any new gun stuff with you, Squib, because I'm running out of stuff to talk about on this show.
I went to the range on Saturday.
Shoot the AR or black powder stuff?
No, I took my Henry rifle.
Oh, the 22?
44.
Oh, you got a 44. Right, it's my dad that has a 22. Sorry. How did it go?
It's shooting a little high. I don't think it's if I could adjust the front sight, but it's not adjustable. If I could raise the front sight a little bit, I might get it. To shoot a little lower, but
you can't adjust the sight.
No.
Elevation.
No, so I just threw some Kentucky windage in there to correct for it, and it seemed to work. So I'm not sure if maybe it's just I'm having trouble seeing the front sight, and maybe it's me. But I'm gonna put some white nail polish on the end of the front sight and try it again and see if I get the same results. Maybe I can pick up the front sight a little bit better and make sure that it's not something I'm doing. And if it is, then I'll just aim underneath the bullseye and hit what I'm aiming at, I guess. But probably the long-term fix is to put an optic on it, because that'll allow adjustment. So.
Well, it sucks that you can't have elevation adjustments on your sight somehow without doing that.
Not a lot of rifles have something where you can adjust the front. I'd look to see if there was an aftermarket front sight for that model, and there isn't. There are for other models, but it's not that big of a deal.
You can't fix it by adjusting the rear sight somehow?
No.
I had that problem with one of my dad's handgun. I just had to aim. It was shooting low, so I just had to aim a little higher. That's all.
The rear sight's down all the way. There's no more adjustment in the rear sight. Raising the rear sight, I shoot higher. So.
Okay.
I need to bring the front sight up. So. I've even considered maybe attaching something into the front sight, and it's like, like I said, I just throw a little Kentucky windage in there, it's good to go. So.
Well, as long as you can hit what you're aiming at, that's the most important thing.
I mean, sometimes you're in a position where you've got something with adjustable sights that you can't adjust them in the middle of combat, and you've got to just move the rifle for to get your proper point of aim, or during a competition too. You don't have time for that stuff. So.
Yeah, well, hopefully you don't go into combat with a rifle that you haven't zeroed out.
Even if there could be, something going on, but I mean, if you're hitting low left, then aim high right, and then you should get the bullseye. So that's not the ideal way to do it, but it's a way to. It's a quick fix. So.
Yeah. Okay. So
my plan is to go back out this weekend. I'll put the white nail polish on the end of the brass bead at the end, and go out there and see if I can pick up the tip of the front sight a little bit better. And if that straightens it out, then I know it was just me. And if it doesn't, then I'll put an optic on it next year.
Well, next year's getting closer all the time. We're almost at Halloween, so.
I don't have time for it this year. If I see a deer and I miss it, it's on me. It's just what I have to live with.
Okay. Just move in closer. Get hits.
Yeah, it doesn't always work out that way. I mean, some people might say, "You've got 3 weeks. Go ahead, go get some mounts and a scope." No. I need more time than that, and like I said, if I miss, it's on me.
Yeah, I know. Life is what happens. It's not all about just zeroing in and keeping every knife super clean and super sharp, and every gun like super polished and oiled, and because you probably have a lot of guns to do that too, and I know I have a lot of knives and guns, and it's just keeping them all clean and polished. It's like and in work in order. That's a lot of work, especially for my knives.
Certain times of the year have more time than others. But there's right now there's no time, not enough. I can try to rearrange stuff to make time, but it's kind of a little too late. I've got more than just guns, so I mean it's just If I dedicate more time to it, then I take away from other stuff, and right now that's just not a priority. I mean, I got a lot of reloading I'm going to be doing, but it won't be until probably after Christmas. So,
yeah, I think Hanukkah's coming late this year, or I forget. I'll deal with it. All I know is they never send Safeway enough Hanukkah candles for the whole Jewish community out here. So like if you're not there, if you don't happen to be there the first day that they get there, they'll probably sell out in a week, and then you're just SOL after that.
Can't you get them from Amazon?
Hanukkah candles. Well, actually, my folks are taking a cruise out here in December, but they're not coming until after Hanukkah. So I have some left over from last year. I haven't tried to buy Hanukkah candles off of Amazon.
Right. Let's see. It's spelled with CH, right? Sean.
No, you could spell it with an H, but some people
or something. Yeah.
Either
Hanukkah
way.
Decor. Here we go. Candles. Deluxe tapered blue and white Hanukkah menorah candles for all 8 nights of Hanukkah. And they spell Hanukkah 2 different ways in the description. $13.
$13. Okay, I'll go on Amazon and buy me some more flipping now. Of course, yeah. What I'll wind up doing is I'll spend $13 on Hanukkah candles, and then to make it free shipping, I'll have to spend like another $50 on like Mountain House or something, or more. I'll get another jar of frozen freeze-dried strawberries or something.
Multicolored, 44 per box, $6.39. Free shipping on orders over $25.
Okay, so I'm gonna need to like buy a case of Hanukkah candles. I wonder if they're gonna charge me a hazmat fee since they're flammable.
What you do is you buy enough for more than one family, and then you go sell them to your other Jewish friends who are jonesing because Safeway screws them over every year.
Well, unfortunately, I'm so pissed at after the last time I was at the Chabad house because there's just so many left-wing lunatics. I don't know if I'm going back to the Kona one. I mean, I like the one, the Chabad house in Honolulu. Very nice people there, but that's a long flight. I mean, it's not a long flight, but nobody. If you're gonna go to the temple for the holidays, you generally don't want to go to one near you, and the ones here are just filled with left-wing commies, and it's like I almost dumped my whole plate of food into the lap of the last guy sitting next to me at the last holiday I was at, because they were just so out there, and this annoyingly left-wing is just I don't know. This state has too many left-wing people and not enough Republicans.
I was scrolling down on page 2 of these Hanukkah candles, and something caught my attention. Manischewitz sells Hanukkah candles.
Sure.
A 44 pack for $8.
All right. So I'm gonna have to go on Amazon and just like panic buy Hanukkah candles. I used to watch Matt's show, and it would always be like panic buy ammo. It was do you remember going on Matt's show, Squib, or just listening to it, and it was always like panic buy magazines, panic buy ammo, panic buy, and so I would panic buy stuff, and now I have tons of ammo. But I mean, panic buy Hanukkah candles. It's
what makes them Hanukkah candles versus just any sort of candle?
They're supervised by rabbinical supervision.
Or so they say.
You think a rabbi is going to lie about supervising the manufacture of wine or candles or anything?
Sure.
Do you trust your local rabbi? I mean,
because they're not human. Humans never lie.
Trust them as much as I trust a Baptist preacher or Catholic. What would that be? Priest?
Yeah, or Robert Tilton, the televangelist.
Well, generally they're pretty serious about their rabbinical supervision about like kosher things. I mean, they wouldn't when I was visiting the Honolulu Chabad house, and there was a Starbucks nearby, and I tried to walk in with a cup of coffee. There's like, oh, you can't bring that in. That's not kosher. It's like, okay, really? Okay, I'll just drink this outside before I come in. And but it was their temple. I wasn't gonna bring it, sneak it in if they didn't, if they had a problem with that. I just drink it outside. before I came in. So, but they're pretty as far as the people that supervise, it's like the right way to the kosher way to slaughter a lamb and all that stuff. Uh, there's it's in the Old Testament how to do it, but I pretty much just skip over that part. It's like the Old Testament's a pretty big book, so I can't even get through the whole thing. I mean, I got through Sun Tzu, The Art of War, but that's only 68 pages. The Old Testament is like this fucking
I think where Scuba's
10,000 page book.
I think where Scuba's coming from. Do you remember the priest or the holy man in Delta Force who was a spy for the Israelis? He was spying on the Libyans or the Irish.
Well, there's a whole section in Sun Tzu about Art of War about spies.
And he wasn't a total true about what he was doing. He's working for God and the Israelis.
Well, I didn't. I don't recall that movie.
In Delta Force? Oh, come on. That's one of Chuck's best.
Yep.
Just pure American butt kicking.
Well, is that the one where they have the like dune buggies and shit?
Yeah. Yeah. I got that on Blu-ray, DVD.
You got a Blu-ray of Delta Force.
Oh, hell yeah. What's more American than Lee Marvin and Chuck Norris kicking terrorists' butt?
Now I have to go back into Amazon. Thanks.
Oh, no. He's not going to buy like any movies that I tell him to buy, but he will buy Delta Force.
Yeah,
Delta Force
American movie. Hey, I saw a movie this weekend, so whatever.
Cartoons don't count.
It was a real movie with real actors, and
Was one of them Stormy Daniels?
No, one of them was Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, True Lies?
No, I saw Halloween.
Oh, Halloween. Ah.
Well, I like the Dracula movies, so I've seen Dracula Untold and Shadow of a Vampire was another good one.
Let's see. Buy it on HD for $13.99. Where's the Blu-ray? There's no Blu-ray.
No Blu-ray.
What the fudge?
I'll have to prove it to you.
Go out and short Amazon if they don't have the Blu-ray of Delta Force.
I'm just saying Amazon don't have it. I don't have to go to Worst Buy or some store like that.
But you're going to go out to a store to buy a Blu-ray of Delta Force.
No, it's just... Oh, wait, I'm sorry. It's in high definition. It could be a Blu-ray. Let's see. No, it wants me to download it. Screw you. I'm not downloading it. I want a hard copy. Maybe I just type in Blu-ray? I don't know. BLU-RAY.
That's one reason I can still like going to Walmart is because they have a DVD section and I could cruise for Blu-rays and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Here
we go. Yeah, all right. Here it is. I found it, Patrick. $10.
Yep.
Wait a minute. Why does it say 2012? It's not a remake. No, it's not a remake. Oh, it's a book.
He almost bought a book.
No, but it shows a Blu-ray, but it says paperback. What the fudge?
Got it right here.
Yep, that's what it looks like on Amazon here. So what am I looking at?
They use in order to sell the book, they're using pictures of the Blu-ray.
For less money, you can get Delta Force, Lone Wolf McQuade, and Code of Silence all together. Ooh, they got Delta Force, Mission in Action, Mission.
But those are probably DVDs. The combos are usually DVDs, not Blu-rays.
There's Blu-ray. Let's see if it turns out to be a book. Nope, Blu-ray, $8.41. Yeah.
Yeah, I got this Blu-ray combo, The Dirty Dozen and Stalag
There you
17.
go. See? Yeah. HVS, when was the last time you went to a movie theater?
Like 8 or 9 months ago.
Well, see, I've gone to the movies more recently than you.
Well, that's because I watch Turner Classic Movies most of the time. Because I got class and a sense of history. Cinematographic history.
Yeah, if I want to watch movies, I'll go over to Patrick's house.
Texas, it's a long drive. You're going to drive to
24
Texas?
hours.
Just a long drive. Oh.
Nah, it's a short flight. It's only about an hour
I
flight.
can make Amarillo in a day.
We'll get you on the airplane, Squib. First flight out. Be here in an hour and a half. It's funny. Squib just shows up at my door, knocks on the door, wanting to, hey, let's watch
Delta Force.
Now, come on. I'd at least bring popcorn.
Right? I saw that in there. I was like, oh, I had to have it, no matter how much the price. I was like, hell yeah.
Well, I'm almost getting to the point of getting ready to buy Star Wars Solo just because Squib doesn't like it. Bite the bullet. Spend the $25.
I liked it. I thought it was good.
Okay, now I'm gonna lose $25 on this movie. It better.
Well, it's not Rogue One good, but it's definitely better than Return of the Jedi and Last Jedi and Force Awakens. Those are horrible.
Wait, Return of the Jedi wasn't that horrible.
No, the Force Awakens, the continuation of the story, Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Those two movies.
All right. Well, next time I'm at Walmart, I'll pick up the Solo one.
Yeah, Solo and Rogue One, you would like those.
Well, I saw Rogue One in the movie theater. I didn't see Solo in the movie theater. But I prefer when they have like classic movies and that are old ones, or just something that's really good from way back and not necessarily the latest current thing. Especially if they're in the bargain bins. Sometimes you can find I got Gone with the Wind in the bargain bin for like $5, and that won like 10 Academy Awards. Clark Gable movie.
Frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
I thought he said Scarlett. Oh.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. That's what he said. And there's the I'll never starve again. I'll never be hungry again. Standing there holding a potato in her hand.
I swear, as God is my witness, I shall never go hungry again. Yes, she said that.
Okay. Somebody got the quote right, at least.
He also said, "Oh, Ashley."
Oh.
She liked messing with them Wilkes boys.
I don't think I've ever been to a southern state myself. I stopped. How far? I stopped at New York Airport one time, or was it Maine when we went to Europe when I was a kid, and visited England, Scotland, and then flew on to Israel.
I'm telling you, if you went to Florida, you'd be like, "Oh, wow. I don't have to be trapped in Hawaii anymore. Why don't I just live here? They got all the same shit."
Yeah, well, the hurricanes seem to do a lot more damage to Florida than they do to Hawaii.
You've been fooled by the media.
And I don't need the media to look outside my window. It's like the east side of Hawaii Island can get clobbered, but the west side never seems to. So anyway, we're gonna wrap this show up and maybe do some after chat for a while. I don't know. It depends how sleepy people are. Wait a minute. I think I hear something coming. Jeepers.
What are you doing, blowing bubbles out of
Okay, we've got to get to the chopper, so we'll try to make it back next week. Keep your powder dry. This is HBS signing off.
Bye-bye.